Hey folks, welcome. I'm making this short video just to show you how to set up an APA paper because like all academic style guides, there's a certain way the document is supposed to look. And it's very important that the document looks the way it's supposed to look. Because when you get to upper level courses, you're going to have professors who tell you if it doesn't look correct at first glance, they're going to tell you go fix it. I'm not going to grade it until you fix it, until it's correct. So you want to the first thing is just setting up the whole document the right way. It's not super hard to do, but it's something students often struggle with. So I want to make this short video. And so you may have used MLA format before, and so APA is a bit different. A lot of the things are kind of the same. It's the same principle when it comes to the citations. I'm not going to talk about citations in this video, but the citations are formatted differently. But anyway, all I'm going to cover in this video is just how the document looks, everything you need there. And so the things I'll talk about are the cover page. And so APA has a cover page, unlike MLA. The page number, the title, I'll talk a little bit about headings, and then the references page, which is the equivalent of the MLA works cited page. And so the good people at the American Psychological Association were nice enough in their new edition of the APA, the seventh edition, to make a difference between professional papers and student papers. And so essentially what they did is they took out some things in student papers that need to be included in professional papers, which makes it a little bit simpler. And I'll talk about that a little bit. Um, but the thing that isn't different is the citations. And so if you learn the citations doing a student paper, the citations will still be the exact same in a professional paper. And so the professional papers have a lot of information in them that student papers don't need because the professional papers are meant to be set up to be submitted to peer-reviewed journals, and so they need certain pieces of information and so on, like an abstract. And so usually, I think probably most professors are going to be using seventh edition. Most professors will probably um, be asking you for a student uh, version of your paper, but you might want to ask them to make sure that um, they're looking for the student version of APA 7th edition and not the professional version. If you're interested, I'll show you an example at the end. The things that a professional paper has that the student paper doesn't have are what's called a running head, an author note, and an abstract. But like I said, the citations are the same. Okay, and so what my goal is here is to show you how to set up a student paper. And so the first thing I want to do is just show you what that looks like. And so here it is. Um, and so you see we have a cover page on the first page. All there is the kind of basic information to let the reader know what it is and who wrote it, right? And so in APA, you've got you've got the title. First, it's capitalized, standard capitalization rules, and it's also in bold. MLA doesn't use bold. And then in two lines below that, you have the author's name, and they like you to use first name, middle initial, period, last name. Then you have affiliation. And so basically, your affiliation is whichever department of your school the course you're writing it for is in. And so in this example, it's Department of Psychology, comma, the George Washington University. For my class, it will be the Department of English, whatever school it might be. Um, and then you put the course, and so whichever course it is. Then you put the instructor's name, whoever that might be. And then finally, you put the date. And with the date, it's important to write out the date the formal way, the full month, the day, comma, and the year. And you don't need to put like the th after the number. because that's kind of understood when you're writing a formal date. And you also notice there's a page number in the upper right-hand corner. And you'll notice on the second page, we have our sequential page numbers. I'm going to show you how to do this, set this up, in just a moment. And so on the second page, you repeat the title, same way, same exact way, centered, capitalized, bold. And then you've got the essay there. We'll just scroll by. And so they have certain rules so in a lot of APA papers, they're broken into sections. And for each section, you need to have headings. And they have rules on the way you format these headings. I'm not going to go too much into detail with that in this video, but you can look those up. It's not super difficult to figure out. Scrolling right along. And when we get to the end, we're going to have our references page. This is where your full bibliography is, with the full citations. You've got references at the top. It's in bold, capitalized, and your citations are listed alphabetically. They're double spaced. They have a hanging indent, and that's what it is. And so one tip when you get to the end, of your essay, you might want to put a page break in so you can start your references on a new page. And so what I want to do is open a blank document and just show you some of the things you need to do to make that happen. And so with the font, APA is a little bit open-minded about the font. I always prefer Times New Roman 12. And Times New Roman 12 is an accepted font in APA format. So that's a good thing to always do when you're writing any paper in college. Another thing you need to do in Word is go to paragraph. You open up this dialog box. I don't know why Word does this, but that the spacing before and after, that means before and after paragraphs, this should be 0. Like MLA, APA doesn't have any extra space after paragraphs. When you get to line spacing, you want double. APA is double spaced like MLA. Then you can click OK. And then before you even start typing, we can put our page number in. Remember, you need to put the page number in, you have to do insert page number, top of page, upper right. And unlike MLA, you don't need to put your name there or anything else. It's just a page number. And so one thing I should say, a lot of students kind of try to do the page number manually. You can't do that because it'll be the same thing on every page. You have to use the insert page number function for the page numbers to be sequential. Okay, then so you click out of there. Now we're at the top of our document. And so they want the title 3 or 4 lines down from the top. And so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to center the title. And so a lot of people don't learn this, but whether it's Google Docs, whether it's Word or whatever word processor, there's this alignment function. And in order to center, you want to use the alignment function. And why did it go all the way to the top? That's kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just like MLA, you want to have an informative title that previews your thesis, and that needs to be bold. And so you highlight it. You can actually scroll over and double clips. But anyway, highlight it, and the dialog box will come up. It's also in the upper left over there. Click bold. There we go. Then you put 2 lines, and then we're going to start the rest of the heading. You need to take the bold off, but we're going to keep the center on because everything in the title page is centered. And so you're going to put your name. Then the next line, affiliation. So which means department in school. You're going to put the course. You're going to put the instructor's name and date. Formal date. So remember, the formal date is you write out the month, the day, comma, the year. Okay, so that's kind of it, in terms of the title page. So then what you need to do is go to the next page. I don't like it when it does that. So I'm going to take this off. Okay. And then at the top of the second page, I guess we could do a page break. Take us to the top of the next page. And, we're going to put our title again. And we're going to bold it. And we're going to capitalize it. Okay. And then after the title, then you're going to start the body of the essay. And we're still in center mode, so we've got to go to left alignment because that's how you write a normal paper. And so we just want to do that. Remember, you indent a paragraph with the tab key. And so you'll indent. Oh, and then we need, and see, I forget this sometimes. Take the bold off. Take the bold off, yeah. And then I'm not going to type a whole paper for you. But anyway, you would type your essay. When you get to the end, you could do a page break. And so it's insert page break. I guess you don't necessarily have to do the insert page break, but it kind of makes it easier because it just jumps you down to the next page so that you can start on a new page. And then you need your references page. And so we're going to have to go back to center alignment. We're going to type references. We're going to spell it correctly. And then we're going to bold that too. And then we'll go down to the next line. And we're going to go back to left alignment. And then you put your sources in alphabetically with the hanging indent. And that's something I'll cover in another video. And so that's how you set it up, and that's how it should look. See, it didn't take me a terrible amount of time to do that. And so, there's no reason why your paper can't look correct on first glance. Um, I guess just before I go, what I'll show you is what the professional paper looks like, just so you can see how it's different. And so you see up in top, this is what's called the running head. And you'll also see this author note. And you'll also see there's a thing for correspondence. How would you get in touch with the author? Then there's an abstract with keywords on the next page. And then you start the essay. So a lot of that stuff, then everything else is the same. A lot of the reason why they have a lot of those things is just because these are things you need to include in a professional paper that's submitted, to a professional journal. I guess one more thing I'll show you before I go is I'm going to send you these documents, and these can also be found on the APA website or Purdue OWL website. But they explain how to do the headings, how to format the headings. So they have what are called level 1 headings are centered. Level 2 headings are left aligned. Then when you get down to level 3 headings, they're left aligned with italics. And so if you need to do that, you might want to look that up. But I'm going to stop the video there. Please let me know if you have any questions about how to set up an APA paper.